Hey, you're listening to another episode of the AAR Podcast. This episode will be focused on my review of the new movie Wonder Woman. I just left the theater and got back to All About. And I decided to do a podcast. I think I may start reviewing more movies because I go to the movies quite a bit, usually 2 to 3 times a week. So, Wonder Woman. I'm sure you're all going to go see it. I was pleasantly surprised to see a packed theater at 11:20 in the morning. I was kind of worried. I thought it was going to be pretty like a ghost town in there. But no, it was, I'd say, more than halfway full, which is pretty good. That's pretty much maybe more than the people I saw when I saw Guardians, which was probably a better movie. I'm probably going to get into some spoilers, but before I do, I'll try and make an announcement, tell people to turn off their listening devices or whatever. But, so yeah, all in all, it was an okay movie. It's definitely on a hype train. It's good. You know, people are going crazy for it. I don't know if I'd go crazy for it. It's probably the best DC movie since the Nolan Batman movies, which is saying something, but not really saying a lot, considering most of them haven't been that great. I guess I was looking up stuff online before getting on the mic, and it's a Zack Snyder story. I'm not going to bash Zack Snyder at all, but, it's very similar to Batman versus Superman or the Man of Steel movie, where it's like a film wrapped around a couple amazingly cool scenes. A lot of these DC movies make me feel like they think we're stupid, or they're made by bro dudes or something. This movie, like I said, it's better than the last few DC movies, and there is heart to it, and there's a lot of cool stuff in it, but I don't know if I would say it's a great film. I probably wouldn't say it's a great film. I'd say it's an okay movie. I tell people to spend money to go see it just because of the fight scenes and things. The special effects are pretty cool. Typical Snyder fashion, although he didn't direct this movie, but there's so much slow motion and there's so much clearly digital model work during the fight scenes that it kind of bums me out a little bit. I don't know why DC does this with their films, but I feel like Marvel just kills them story-wise, story and visually. They're just, I don't know. Like I said, I feel like they think we're dumb, or they don't care, or maybe it's just because DC isn't really making the movies and it's Warner Brothers, and it's just licensed properties to them, and they're just trying to cash in on brand names. I don't know, but that said, the movie does have some heart to it. The little girl, when Wonder Woman's a little girl, is really great. Everything that happens on the island is awesome, I think. I was really into that. It looked beautiful. The scenes are amazing. And the fight scene on the beach that you see part of it during the trailers is pretty cool. It's really not much longer than what you see in the trailer. We get a little backstory, a lot of foreshadowing. If you're not paying attention, you're not going to realize a lot of things. I'll talk about it after I say spoilers and stuff. But there's cute stuff, and they tie some of it in together. There's scenes of little Wonder Woman, Diana, doing practice moves, and she's not supposed to be training, and she's watching the Amazons train, and it's cute and it's great, and you're oh, she's gonna become Wonder Woman, that's not a spoiler. But later on, you see her when she is Wonder Woman, kind of doing the same moves, and it's it fills you with joy, and it's awesome, and it's really heartwarming, and as you know, like I'm a sap, so I definitely got like glossy eyed and I couldn't handle it. But it was nice. It was nice that they put in that. I should have wrote down the person's name, but I feel like the person who made this movie made something else that was really good. Yeah, I should have wrote it down. It doesn't matter. But look it up if you're listening to this. And I remember it being a movie that I really liked. I think it might have been Monster. I think it was Monster with Charlize Theron, which is another like female-centric movie. I could be wrong, but if memory serves me, that's who made it. But they're not similar at all. Like if you're looking for like a deep, character-driven drama, you're not going to get it. I think one of the things that bothered me, which I think the masses won't even care about, but I mean, a lot of people are stoked because it's a strong female like lead, which is awesome, and it makes me stoked on it as like a parent. I love it. We definitely don't have enough of these. Marvel still hasn't made their like female lead superhero movie, which is kind of a bummer, which I'm definitely looking forward to, and I have a feeling it's going to be much better than this. But I don't know if it's a Snyder thing. I don't know if it's a DC thing. But I feel like they made Wonder Woman kind of naive, I guess. Now, I mean, I know she's been on the island for like her whole life, but she's read. She says that she can speak like 80 languages or something, all the languages in the world. But there's like a naivety to her that kind of bummed me out. Like I wanted her to, I guess, be more suspicious, a little bit like tougher. And I feel like we don't really get that from her. To me, Wonder Woman was always like right up there with like Superman and Batman, and she was like one of the top three. I mean, she's the DC trifecta, you know. And she's led teams, you know. And I know she's like we get a younger version of her because it's in the past and whatnot. But I don't know. I feel like they kind of watered the character down to make her sellable, maybe. To play on the whole fish out of water thing, you know. They take her like dress shopping, stuff like that. I was like, I don't really need to see that. Like it was kind of cliche. I kind of expected it. You know, the trailer shows her try to walk through a doorway and the sword bangs. It's not really funny. It's like, all right, yeah, I get it. She wants to kill Ares or whatever, you know, big deal. Like she's no military person who's been trained like that would walk around a city carrying a shield and a sword. You know, a lot of things like that were just like, story-wise, it was just like, whatever. But, you know, it's cool. We got Wonder Woman on screen. The action scenes were great. It was awesome. Fight on the beach, like I said, awesome. You get a glimpse of a fight with her in an alley where she, like, blocks bullets. It was pretty cool. It was real quick. It was an awesome, like, alley fight scene. Some of the mythology in this Wonder Woman story kind of throws me off a little bit because I feel like Wonder Woman's always been bulletproof. So I don't really understand the use of her like the wristbands as much. I know TV's Wonder Woman use them all the time, and like comic books she uses them and stuff too. But I always felt like she was just as strong as Superman, you know. And she had like super tough skin, like, you know, like Aquaman or Namor or, you know, some other hero like that. Like she's not human, you know. But somehow a bullet like grazes her and she bleeds in one of the scenes, and then she never gets shot again, which is kind of weird to me. I don't know if it was just one of those things where they didn't care or it doesn't really matter, but it was for like the nerd in me. I just kept being like, I don't understand. Like, it just didn't make sense to me. There's an amazing fight scene, which is very similar to the Batman scene in Batman vs. Superman, when he's in, like, the warehouse, and he's, like, just wrecking, like, the thugs. There's this very similar scene like that with her, and she blows it out of the water because she's obviously not Batman. She's much stronger, so it goes further. And it's a lot longer. I think Batman was saving Lois at the time. I haven't seen the movie in a while. But I think it's like that scene. And so Wonder Woman has like a scene like that, and it's pretty cool. Like I said, the fight scenes are cool. When you can't tell that it's a 3D model, the fight scenes are awesome. The second you like, it goes back and forth, and it takes me out of it almost. You know, I don't want to see that. I want to see stuntmen or better special effects, I guess. I don't know. Let me think if I want to go into spoiler territory. All right, first of all, I'll talk about the cast before I get into like spoilers. First off, when they cast Gal Gadot, I think I'm saying it right, I don't know, as Wonder Woman, I was stoked. I think she's perfect for it. I do enjoy the Fast movies. I think they're ridiculous. I remember her from that. I think she fits the mold of Wonder Woman. I think she looks the part. I mean, she may not be the greatest actress, but she pulls it off. She's probably the most enjoyable thing in the movie. Like her portrayal, I don't think it's her fault that, you know, Wonder Woman comes off naive or whatever. I think she did her best, and it's worth watching. And if anything, like if the movie doesn't do well, it's definitely not her fault. I think the movie will do huge. Like, don't get me wrong. I mean, it's definitely a blockbuster. I don't know if it'll do Batman versus Superman numbers. It might, but she can't be blamed for any problems in this movie for sure. Besides her, you got Captain Kirk, Chris Pine. Sometimes I felt like he was the lead in the movie, which I wasn't too happy about. I mean, we get Wonder Woman almost the whole time. There is almost no like real Diana Prince or, you know, like human aspect to her, like with Clark Kent or anything like that. She's pretty much Wonder Woman with a big coat on, like for most of the movie. And I know Chris Pine's character is like her love interest, and in the comics he's always around, and in the cartoons and stuff. Like he's a staple of the DC universe. But I don't know if they just couldn't write it so that he wasn't so pivotal or whatever. Like, I know he's necessary for her to reach her fullest potential. To realize, like, you know what I mean, humans are what we are and stuff like that. But I don't know. I was expecting more from her and less from him. I wish he was more the butt of jokes than she was. I'm not a big fan of like fish out of water kind of stories. But yeah, I mean, besides that, he's all right. I mean, I love him as Captain Kirk. I think he's a great actor. I can't really complain about it. We've also got Princess Buttercup from... oh my God, I can't even remember the name of the movie. I'm totally having a brain fart right now. From, you know the movie, Princess Buttercup. That's all I need to say. I don't even need to say it. It had Fred Savage in it when he was little, and Columbo told him a story. Princess Bride, that's who it is. So she's in it, almost not recognizable, but like ripped, and she basically trains Wonder Woman, and she's one of the Amazons, and she's pretty cool in it. She's in. I'm sure you've seen her in the trailers, and didn't even realize it was her because she's so like burly, and like tanned, and like looks like a warrior. It's pretty neat. I was surprised to know that it was her. We've got, if you ever saw the Trainspotting movies, Spud is in it, who is one of my favorite British character actors. I don't think he does a lot, but every time I see him, I think of him pooping his pants. So that's always a plus. He's kind of a tragic character in this, though. He's part of the ragtag team that's not as cool as Captain America's commandos, which there's a lot of Captain America parallels in this movie. I will try not to talk about them because they're not really the same movies, but they're somewhat similar. And I don't know. I'll try to avoid it as much as I can. And then we've got Professor Lupin, who is always great in everything he does. I mean, I don't know his name either. But if you know who I'm talking about, he was in Harry Potter, and his name's Lupin, and you can guarantee, if you know anything about Latin, what his problem was in the Harry Potter movies. So he's in it. He plays like a British, like, diplomat, general prince or something, who like funds them and helps them get like to the war zone and things. So basically, the premise of the movie is Wonder Woman needs to defeat Ares, and that'll stop all war, or World War One. It's a very thin thing, and she constantly talks about like it's kind of like Rey from Star Wars talking about getting back to Jakku. You know, like it's really weird. It's not like why, like I get it, like you want to do this, but like relax, like chill out, you know. All right, so I guess I'll get into spoilers a little bit, and I'll call it a day, because this doesn't really need to be that long. Like I said, it's an okay movie. It's not super great. I really think that DC and Warner Brothers kind of thinks we're idiots, or we don't care about really deep plots or anything like that. So, all right, and I'm going to go into spoilers in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, so Wonder Woman, if you don't know, is obviously like Zeus's kid. She's a goddess made of clay, superpowers. You know, there's no invisible jet in this movie, but she's got her like the bracelets, the lasso. She's got a sword and a shield. So they talk about in the trailer, you know, the God Killer, and they allude it to being the sword. Right away, you know it's not the sword. Right away. If you don't realize it's not the sword, you're really not even paying attention to this movie. Just by the way that the older Amazons are whispering and talking about secrets about her. She already knows that she was made of clay from Zeus. What could the other secret be? She's the God Killer? Oh yeah, like obviously, like it's so clear that like I was upset that it was just like I knew it. I was like, oh, she's going to be the God Killer, you know, or the God Slayer or whatever it was called. God Slayer, maybe? I don't know. But that was kind of on the nose a little bit too much, the way they kind of talked about her secret. Also, Lupin, Professor Lupin, he doesn't have a limp. Why are you going to give him a limp? I don't know. Maybe he's the bad guy. You know, come on. It was super obvious. He gave them money to make sure they could get across the war zone. You know what I mean? It was so obvious that he was playing both sides, and that he was like, if you watch any movies with gods and stuff, you knew he was a god or he was something like that. So Lupin is pretty much Ares. It's super clear, if like to me anyway. I wasn't blown away by it. Once again, I don't know how they would have kept it more of a secret. I think maybe if he wasn't so clearly acting weak, that you knew he was super strong. Like it was one of those things. It was like, why is he limping? Why is Lupin this guy who doesn't really matter? You know, it's one of those things. I know he's a good actor. I know he's going to be a bad guy, because the German bad guy is nothing special at all. He's just like a general who like does smelling salts to get strong. Who cares? Like that doesn't even make sense. It's stupid. And then his little henchman, Dr. Moreau. Yeah, whatever. I guess they call her Dr. Poison. I don't know if she's in the comic books or not. But she's kind of cheesy. She looks cool, I guess, with her little like ceramic mask on her face from where it's most likely burned. Oh, it comes off and her face is burned. Big deal. I was hoping for something really gory. It was nothing. It was little scarring on her face. It was such a waste of a cool prop. There's a little moment between her and Chris Pine where like you almost see her be somewhat human, and she's not like a total scumbag, because she's like, oh, maybe I'll hook up with Chris Pine. But instead she's like, nope, I'll see you later. So like I said earlier, I mean, the visuals are great when they're great. Like the fights are cool. If you like video game fights, you're going to love it. If you like the Batman video games, you're going to love this movie. Wonder Woman's cool. I can't wait to see more of it. I really wish it was done during this time frame. I think she's going to be awesome in the Justice League movie. Unfortunately, like, Zack Snyder had some stuff happen, so Joss Whedon is taking over the reshoots for Justice League. It's sad that Snyder has his family stuff to deal with, and it's heartbreaking. I could never imagine what it's like to go through what he's going through. But as a nerd, the fact that Joss Whedon is handling anything to do with that movie gives me so much more hope, especially knowing that he loves female characters. He's most likely going to make this Wonder Woman character a much stronger female lead, which is pretty cool. Let's see if there's anything else I need to talk about. DC thinks we're stupid. They don't care because it's Warner Brothers. It's not even really DC. Yeah, so, I mean, I definitely got goosebumps a few times. The Wonder Woman fight scenes are great. Like, it's awesome to see Wonder Woman on screen, you know, her in the uniform walking across the no man's land. I think, like, I don't know if I actually cried, but my eyes were watery, like, the whole time. Once again, it was a weird scene that was kind of stupid, but it still, like, gets you. Because you see her kind of, like, you almost see her, like, somewhat enjoy the fighting a little bit and getting into it. But you see the little girl from the beginning of the movie, and you see her as an adult doing the same kind of, like, practice, like, moves that she did in the very beginning when she was little. For me, like, super nerd that I am, like, it hit me hard. Like, I really, like, shed it, like, my eyes were super watery. I had to wipe them a couple times. Let's see, what else? The end, once again, if you came back and you think I'm done with spoilers, I'm not. The end of the movie, the Ares fight was okay. If you saw her fight Doomsday, you pretty much saw her fight Ares. It wasn't anything too spectacular. Having Captain Kirk blow up with the plane, I don't know how I feel about it. I feel like that character is part of the DC universe, so he could have shown up again. I mean, I get it. He's Captain Kirk. He's got a bunch of Star Trek movies left in him. He probably doesn't have time to be part of this world. But, and I understand the use of, like, his sacrifice to make her achieve her potential story-wise. I just think it was a little bit too on the nose, a little too cliche. Not really anything too spectacular in this movie. I came back and my Facebook feed is filled with people talking about how amazing it was. I guess if I gave it out of 10, maybe a 7. Like I said, see it in a theater just because the visuals are cool. The lasso stuff. Every time she's Wonder Woman and she's fighting is awesome. You know? She takes up this bell tower, is rad. You know, she throws tanks, it's cool. She's blocking the bullets, it's awesome, you know? I just feel like when she's not fighting as Wonder Woman, it's just lacking. I just couldn't get into it. I don't know. I was kind of expecting less than this, so I'm not upset, but I really wanted it to be more. I do think at conventions from now on, we may see a little bit less Harley and a lot more Wonder Woman, which is pretty cool. Character-wise, I think Wonder Woman is a far better role model than Harley Quinn. So I'm totally okay with it. Plus character design, I think cosplayers with, like, the cloak and would look rad. I think it would be super cool cosplay to do it that way. I guess that's it, really. Oh, and I hope Halloween I see tons of kids dressed as Wonder Woman. I think that'll be awesome. I think the best thing about this movie is that the world now has a strong female superhero on screen that little kids can look up to. I mean, it's been a good couple of years. I mean, they got Rey, and this year they have Wonder Woman. I can't wait to see more and more. You know, I hope studios see this and see that they can make movies with women leads that are like stronger than the male leads. Because I mean, Captain Kirk was kind of like, he wasn't strong, you know what I mean? In this movie, he was a spy, and he was like, don't run into the fire, like don't run into the bullets, like don't. He was kind of like, he was a hero, but he was just like very cautious and not like tough and stuff. But she was like the tough person in this movie. She was the fighter. So that's great. Like, and she fought for what she believed in, and she wanted to save the world, which is awesome. And hopefully that'll inspire like kids to want to change the world and save it and do rad stuff. I think that's really all I have to say about it. Like I said, I mean, I wasn't really blown too away by it, so I can't really talk about it too much. The cast was all right. You know, Princess Buttercup was ripped and she was cool. And Lupin was good until he was like actually Ares, and it was just like a voice on a computerized model, so that was cheesy. I guess that's it. I think I may do some more of these because, like I said, I see a lot of movies, and there's a lot of good movies coming out this summer. So until then, that's it. Thank you for listening, and check out some of our other podcasts. We got a bunch on YouTube, and you can download this. Actually, if you're listening to this on YouTube, and you have and you listen to podcasts on your phone, you can go to the iTunes podcast app and sign up for our podcast. You can download it, put it on your phone, and then you'll get updates every time we post something. I've got a bunch of stuff in the works for interviews, more cosplayers, some musicians, and a bunch of different reviews and discussions. So I'm going to probably it's summertime, so you can expect to hear one or two of these a week. So, all right, thanks for listening. All right, see ya.